Okay, I've already went ahead and tapered both ends of this one to show you how the splice would be. One of the main things you want to remember is this wood rasp, and it's easier to just use the outside corners and go down there on a 45 and then come back. Now the reason for this, I went to the cable vulcanized shop and I asked the guys, familiar, sometimes you get a vulcanized cable in and right here on the ends it'll roll up a quarter, a half inch, but that's as far as it ever go. Sometimes it wouldn't move at all. And so I asked them, I said, how do you keep it from rolling back and how do you keep it from breaking? And they said, well, come in the shop and I'll show you. They taper this back with their knife and use a belt sander, and then they rasp it with some type of a rasp. And by doing that, you rough this up so that you get a bond from your outer jacket. And so this would be the mastic that sticks, but it will not bond if you don't get that good rough texture to it. The other thing is right here, if you don't get this taper, then you've got a big round portion of your cable. Then when you tape up to it, you don't get any bond. It will go up, then when you go around your corners, it would open up. And what happens, it invariably break right here. So be sure you clean it, use your sandpaper and your cleaner before you even start this. Then what you do is come back here, once you got your repair done, get about 1/4 of an inch up on your outer jacket, so that you want to leave this open for your bond. And then you put this in nice and tight all the way through. Now a lot of the guys at this point will want to take their printed tape, put it on upside down so they can get back into it. Well, that's a no-no. Remember the law, 75604. You have to put it on according to manufacturer specs. Alright, now what we want to do is get us 3-4 layers of this, build it up nice and tight, pull all our conductors down, get it in order. I usually like to pull it about 1/3 of the stretch. Alright, now see at this point we got it all bound down nice and tight. Then we use our 2619, we want to waterproof it. Our goal is to keep the water out of it. So our outer jacket will be to about 3 inches out. Then we got about 2 inches here. So we have 4 to 5 inches of good watertight seal. Alright, take this material, start right on the edge, and tape it all the way up, pulling it nice and tight as you go up till you get to the outside of the thickness of your jacket. Then you can start to the other end. High flap this thing all the way across, keeping it nice and snug. Now the watertight seal is on the bottom. As you come to this end, up your tapers, keep it real tight so that you get a good bond. Now the goal here is to build it up about the same size as the cable itself. So normally you can either pull it tight or leave it a little bit loose to get the thickness, the size you want in your outer jacket. Alright, see we pretty much got our thickness all the way through. We got it waterproof, we got it nice and smooth. Now it's time for the outer jacket. So what you want to do, stretch it, break the modulus. Then you want to start at least the width of your tape out past it, out past your work area. Come up and tie that in. Alright, now see the new jackets are half laminated with the same material that's on the bottom side. So that gives you a guideline to go by. So as you wrap that thing, just go around, keep your groove right at the edge. Just barely cover it, or you don't even have to cover it actually. But it gives you a nice smooth texture. Now what happens if you get a true half lap on it, each time you go over it, see we got 2 layers here, we come up and go over it again, we got 2 layers. If you go too far over, you don't get a full layer and you've only got 1 layer of material. So you weaken your splice just by not doing your half lap layer. Alright, 2 things that's important. The way we started the splice, remember we overlapped the end of it so that it couldn't peel back. Now on this end we do something a little bit different. Once you get as far as you want to go, you take your blade about 6 inches up, cut back towards your splice. Alright, then break it off here, because the way this mastic is, if it touches where you don't want it to, it's hard to get. Alright, see now we're going to make it nice and square on this end. So as we pull this taper up, see how it lays down? Alright, once you do that, in order to finish it up, all you do is take a piece of your printed tape, right at the end, start right at the outside of your jacket, get your 4, 5, 6 layers, back up on it about the width of your tape, taper it back down the other end, go out till you're only one layer thick, and back up. And you would do both ends that way and see what a nice smooth taper you've got now all the way through. It's back like a splice. You don't have to worry about it failing. And just do the other end too and you're done with it.